Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Tetra, and I'm here at Epic 11 for the StarCraft 2 tournament, and I'm here for another interview. This time I am with Lasse Schmieding, aka Deranging. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
Now, this is actually quite a special one for me because this is the second time I've interviewed you. The first time was the second interview I'd ever done, and the second thing I'd ever done in esports.
Yes, that was, what was it? That was quite a while ago. It was the show you did with UK players, which was quite interesting.
It was a long time ago, basically, but we are here to talk about epiclan. But before we do, I'd like to point out, you haven't really been around much, have you? What's gotten in the way of StarCraft?
I stopped playing 3 or 4 months ago. I lost a bit of interest in StarCraft. This was just before the release of Heart of the Swarm. And then I had exams, but now I've gotten back into the game, and it's interesting, and I'd like to do well if I can.
Well, that's the thing. So you obviously haven't been interviewed like most of these people will have been by now about the new changes. What do you think of the changes in Heart of the Swarm from Wings of Liberty?
A lot of them are quite interesting. Some I don't quite understand yet. I've only been playing again for a month. Some things like Widow Mines, the playstyle you need against Widow Mines is different from what you played as Wings of Liberty. So I'm still not very good against them, but I'm working on it.
Well, one of the key things that was changed in Heart of the Swarm was the Mutalisks. And for those who didn't know your style before Heart of the Swarm, it was very Muta-heavy, and it's fair to say they've been given a bit of a buff. So what is your opinion on the new Mutalisk?
I like the new Mutalisk against Protoss, though it doesn't change my style very much against Protoss. But they changed the way Spore Crawlers work against Mutalisks, which makes ZVZ a bit more difficult for me, because the way I used to play doesn't work anymore. So I have to play more standard now and try and be a solid player.
These Spore Crawlers do a bit more damage against Mutalisks now, but the thing is, Mutalisks also regenerate quicker, so do you not think that cancels each other out, or does the Spore Crawler change make it Mutas a bit way less valid?
You can't really take down bases very cost efficiently with Mutas if there is a single or 2 Spore Crawlers, because it's 3 or 4 shots to kill a Mutalisks, which before it was double that, so it's much more difficult now.
And obviously back in Wings of Liberty, before the Spore Crawler stuff was introduced, the biggest problem you had as a Muta player was Infestors. How's the new Infestor change affect you?
It's a lot more, it's less difficult to make, or it's easier because it's more difficult to fungal Mutalisks that way around.
So it's easier for you, just not for anyone who uses Infestors?
Yes, but Infestors are still viable, but a little bit more difficult. They still work perfectly fine as a counter to Mutalisks.
They're not the absolute staple unit that they were in Wings of Liberty, are they?
No, they've changed quite a bit.
Okay, so this is your first LAN back, basically. Why did you choose epiclan to come back rather than coming back during a I-Series?
I was convinced by the FM people, Slice, to come. I thought that I'd only been playing for not very long, so I wouldn't be very good. But it'd be good to meet everyone again, because that's quite over the past 3 years it's been now since StarCraft came out, I've met a lot of nice people, and it's really good to meet them again at events and stuff like this. So that's the reason I came here.
Okay, so let's talk about this event. What are you thinking of it so far? It's obviously the first StarCraft event they've run. How are you finding it?
Epic as a venue or as a event is quite nice. Compared to I-Series, it's quite quiet and relaxed, which is nice, and I know all the people here, so that's good. StarCraft wise, the tournament's quite small, but I think that's good. It's not as hectic as I-Series or so is, and there's lots of time between games, which some people like and others don't. But the internet could be worked on, but apart from that, it's very nice. I like it here.
So as a startup, you think it's a good start. Would you come to this again if they did it during the next epiclan?
Yes, I would. If I have time to come, I would definitely come.
Okay, so let's talk about how you did in your group stage. Would you like to tell us about some of the people and matches that you had in your group?
I was in Group B with a Terran called Mystic from TSI, Dream from Dignitas, and another Zerg player, also Colin, but he wasn't playing. I started off quite well against the Zerg player and Dream, beating both 2-0. But then I I didn't do that well against the Terran Mystic and lost 2-0 against him.
Now, your group definitely seems to be the upset group. Dream, who everyone really expected to do well, only just making it out of the group stages in third. And Mystic, someone who people have heard of, but no one's really, no offense to him, of course, but no one's really thought of him as anything incredibly special, but very well played out of Mystic and just not so much out of Dream. Do you have anything to say on it?
I hadn't actually heard of Mystic before, maybe because I hadn't played that much recently, but he was surprisingly good. Very, very good, actually. Dream, I heard he had a bit of technical issues with his mouse, but he played well, but he made, well, not well enough, I suppose. He made a couple of errors here and there, and we capitalized on them, I suppose.
So you are through your group stage, as we did say you went through in second place. Who are you worried about playing in the brackets? Who are you looking out for?
I don't like ZVT. I don't understand the matchup yet. So any Terran, which luckily there aren't very many. Apart from that, Orc and Chibi and Dream, because, well, they play very well, and I'm not sure I can play that well yet.
Okay, so other than the players who you're worried about facing, there are a lot of players here who haven't really come to a LAN much before and have decided to come to this one first, or players who haven't been to a LAN in a while, such as yourself. Who are people you would tell people to keep an eye on if they were watching the stream tomorrow?
I think Rockcold's playing quite well, and TLR Soul, both from TLR, they're doing better than I thought they would, and it's quite good. Apart from that, anyone from FM, they practice a lot together, and they're doing quite well at this LAN. So I think Orc recently joined them, so they're quite motivated at the moment. So I think they might do well.
Fair enough. So, before we wrap it up, actually, before we wrap it up, I am going to ask, do you think this kind of event is going to motivate you to come to more LANs in the future? Like you said, you will probably come next year if you have time. But is this going to motivate you to play StarCraft a lot more and get back into the tournament scene? I'm
going to go to iSeries. After that, I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to go to events, as it's quite far in the future. But I really, it's a month to iSeries now. I have nothing else to do as I'm on holiday at the moment. So this event, what I've taken out of it so far is I need to play more, I need to get better, I need to win. So that's what I'm going to spend the next month on, and then we'll see from there.
So you feel you have your competitive spirit back?
Yes, I definitely want to do over.
Okay, so that is excellent. So before we wrap it up, are there any people well, I can't say sponsors actually because you're currently teamless. So if anyone out there is looking, but is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to?
I'd like to say hello to Slice or Matt Garland from FM, and I'd like to say hello to Taha, who's a friend of mine who's cast in the League of Legends tournament, who I came here with. And I know him from school, so that's quite nice.
All right, so thank you very much for coming on, Lasse. And this will be going up on my channel, so where you're watching it, please be sure to hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your page. And for more content like this, just keep your eyes peeled here. And thank you. I am Tetra from epiclan, and see you all next time.